Good morning. Continuing on in the Pirkei Avos, Perek Daled, this week's Perek, I'd like to just speak out one Mishnah, one simple but profound point. The Mishnah in Mishnah Yud Aleph says, Rabbi Yonasan Omer. Rabbi Yonasan says, Kol hamakayim es haTorah me'oini. Whoever learns and fulfills the commandments of the Torah, me'oini, despite poverty, soifai lekaima me'oisher, he will ultimately fulfill it in wealth. V'chol hamavatal es haTorah me'oisher, and anyone who neglects the Torah because of wealth, soifai levatla me'oini, he will ultimately neglect it from poverty. So the simple translation here is, like we just said, that a person who learns the Torah, he fulfills the commandments through, even despite poverty, he'll ultimately do so through wealth. But I'd like to just say another explanation, another understanding in this Mishnah, and that is that this Mishnah could be learned not in financial terms, but rather in different terms, in a different type of poverty. We can look at this Mishnah and say that the Mishnah is teaching us that a person who has any difficulty, not specifically financially, he has other problems, other difficulties holding him back from learning, from fulfilling the mitzvos. And despite that, he goes and he fulfills the Torah and he learns the Torah, even though he has those difficulties. Then the Torah will transform him and it will take away those difficulties, and he'll ultimately learn and fulfill the Torah through wealth, not necessarily financial wealth, but wealth from those difficulties. For example, if a person has a difficult time learning and understanding the Torah, he doesn't believe that he has the brain capacity to learn Torah properly. And despite that, he pushes himself and he tries. He sits down in front of a Gemara and he learns and he makes it through the end of the Amr, the end of the line, the end of the Mishnah, the end of the Gemara. And he pushes. Ultimately, he will find that yes, he does have the brain capacity to learn. He will learn through and fulfill the Torah through wealth, tremendous knowledge, tremendous wealth. I just want to share a short story on this point. Rabbi Aaron Kotler, one of the tremendous Torah giants, he brought Torah to America. He used to say over this Mishnah, and after he would say over this Mishnah, he would cry. And they asked him, why are you crying? You surely accomplished so much in learning. Why are you crying? And Rabbi Aaron Kotler responded, he said, I'm crying because I never had the opportunity to be Mekayim, to fulfill the words of the Mishnah. I was born so smart. I was smart from birth. I was never able to push myself. I never needed to push myself to be Mekayim, to fulfill the Torah through poverty. I was just smart. I didn't have that opportunity that some other people have to push themselves through and to finally understand the Torah through wealth after having a difficulty. And it's a tremendous opportunity. And I just want to, Pesach Sheni today. So I think it makes sense to just throw in, Pesach Sheni, just like on Pesach, a person who's tamei can't bring the carbon Pesach. He fulfills his obligation of not bringing the carbon Pesach because he is tamei. But ultimately, a month later, if he's tahar, he can then fulfill the Torah's commandment of bringing in the carbon Pesach a month later. Although in the beginning he wasn't able to, but he's able to fulfill that later on. Similar idea. Even though you can't fulfill something in the beginning, but if you do what you're supposed to do, you fulfill that mitzvah of not bringing it, don't bring it. Eventually, Hashem will put you in a position where you're able to, yes, fulfill that mitzvah by bringing it a month later on Pesach Sheni. Everyone should have a wonderful day.